Over here. As you can imagine, a podcast that airs on social media. Viewers and listeners, give the show a like and a share. Facebook and Instagram down. Charlottesville and Central Virginia and much of the world crippled. I'll ask you this question, and this is not hyperbole. What is more crippling for the Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia area than Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and the Meta apps being down? It was chaos here, and I can imagine so many folks up in arms too. And the irony of it is irony the word you would use for this happening on Super Tuesday?
I suppose that could be ironic.
You would say irony?
I don't think it would be my first go-to.
Obviously, people are immediately jumping to nefarious intentions. You think that's unfair?
Say that again?
Jumping immediately to conspiracy, nefarious, troubling thoughts of why they were down here on Super Tuesday.
Oh, I'm sure there were a lot of people that thought something nefarious was going on.
Right. We'll also talk about what looks like a donut fight on Pantops.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
The donut the Dunkin' Donuts against the Donut Kitchen. Have you been to the Donut Kitchen yet?
I have not.
Donut Kitchen is banging. I think you would like it. It's a craft donut versus a mass-produced donut.
Right.
For me, it's a no-brainer here, but there's a lot of Dunkin' fans out there. Give the show a like and a share anywhere you're watching. We'll talk Juan Diego Wade, Mayor Wade, speaking with downtown stakeholders. 3 biggest changes you want to see in downtown Charlottesville, and the Charlottesville 29, Simon Davidson highlighting a new eatery, a Cuban and Mexicano eatery that we'll talk about on today's program. A lot we're going to cover, guys, on the Tuesday edition of the I Love CVille show. Give me a heads up when those headlines are on screen, and we'll rock it. Oh, they're already on screen?
4 is a little bit long.
4, speaking to how about leaders, stakeholders to leaders?
Okay.
And we can rock and roll when you're ready there, J-Dubs. Viewers and listeners, let us know what you want to talk about today. We're happy to bring it up. Supervisor Price, welcome to the program. Bill McChesney, Rob Neal, welcome to the program. Lisa Costello, Ray Cadell, welcome to the program. Brittany, Linda, Harold, welcome to the program. Scott Thorpe, que pasa, Chico? How are you? Dr. Downey, que pasa? How are you? Thank you kindly for watching the show. Fud Guy, back in the mix. Supervisor Rutherford, welcome to the show. Thank you kindly for watching. TV station down the road watching us here on the I Love CVille network. We love when you guys tune in. J-Dubs is feeling fresh. Tuesday, a busy day for us. Alderman Library gets renamed. Did you see that, Judah?
I saw not too long ago that they were discussing that, but I don't think I saw the outcome.
We'll rock and roll when you're ready.
All right. Quiet on the set.
Good Tuesday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille show. We are freshly recovered from the Facebook and Instagram and Meta app outage that has left many in Central Virginia reeling and wondering if their accounts have been hacked. The panic is real. We're in the shadows, of course, of Thomas Jefferson's University, less than 2 miles from the Rotunda, the John Paul Jones Arena, and from Scott Stadium. We're a block from the downtown mall, the Albemarle County Courthouse, and the Charlottesville City Courthouse, and we're steps away from the Charlottesville Police Department, smack dab in the epicenter of what we call Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia. Take a look at the screen for headlines we're going to cover today. Super Tuesday is upon us. You think Super Tuesday's got magnitude and impact in Charlottesville and Albemarle and in Central Virginia? We'll talk about that. I want to ask you this question. What can cripple or cause panic in Charlottesville and Albemarle County more than Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and its apps crashing? Not only were they crashed worldwide, but they were down here in our home, and the panic was real. We'll talk on today's program, Mayor Juan Diego Wade speaking to the Friends of Seaville nonprofit tomorrow. Leaders in downtown Charlottesville get some FaceTime with the mayor. What should the leaders of downtown Charlottesville pass along to Mayor Juan Diego Wade, who is certainly fantastic at listening? What are some of the biggest changes you want to see in downtown Charlottesville as we try to return these precious 8 blocks to how they were pre-pandemic? We'll talk Charlottesville 29, Simon Davidson, the famous food critic who's got the Charlottesville 29 website. He highlights a Mexican and Cuban eatery that's opening down Market Street that's got my appetite whet. And we'll talk a brouhaha of singular and epic proportions. A brouhaha between Dunkin' Donuts and the Donut Kitchen on Pantops and the Pantops Shopping Center. Why would Dunkin' Donuts open up right next to the Donut Kitchen? Why would Dunkin' Donuts, with its drive-through and its potentially better location, try to target a locally owned business like the Donut Kitchen that produces craft donuts that are absolutely delectable? Jim Hingley, friend of the program, key member of the family, has brought a dozen donuts to the I Love Seaville studios in the past, much to our delight. You got some of those donuts. Don't give me that look like you didn't get any, Judah. Let's weave Judah Wickower into the mix. He's wearing a Ann Wickower original today. I've said many times that I would pay for an Ann Wickower original. That sweater that he's wearing with the racing stripe and the zipper from top to bottom, something I've coveted.
I'd pay for a second one.
Why doesn't Ann Wickower make some more?
It wasn't like a fast and easy thing.
How long does it take to make the Ann Wickower original that you're wearing?
I mean, I couldn't tell you the exact time. I know that she asked me, I think early one year if I wanted a sweater for Christmas, and I gave her
Of course you said sure.
I gave her the rough outline of what I was looking for.
What was the rough outline? I want a racing stripe and a sweater that's got a full zipper?
Basically, yeah. I wanted a
There you go.
mock turtleneck collar.
Okay.
Cover my
Well, she
neck.
executed it
I
perfectly.
wanted
Go
a
ahead.
zipper, and yeah, I wanted a racing stripe. I should have asked for pockets. In fact, I may have, and it may have been.
Pockets on the sweater?
Oh yeah.
Do sweaters have? It's not a hoodie.
Some sweaters have pockets.
Some sweaters have pockets. No.
Yeah.
Doesn't that stretch the fabric, having the sweater in the pockets, impacting the body of the sweater?
I think it depends on how it's made. You could make one that I think oftentimes it's a different material inside, so it's basically just a cut in the side for the opening, and then the pocket is made of a different material. But
You're putting a lot of pressure on your mom there.
I'm not an expert. She did a great job.
She did a great job.
I'm
I give you props on it literally every time you wear it.
100% not complaining that the sweater doesn't have pockets.
Literally every time you wear it, I give you props on it. Have you
love it.
remembered the movie? Was it called Herbie?
Herbie, you mean the
VW Bug with
the
the
love
racing
bug?
stripe? Yeah.
the love bug?
That was very personable, Herbie
Yeah.
was. Is that what the movie was called?
I think it was Love Bug.
No, it wasn't Love Bug. Are we both looking at this?
Yep.
It was not Love Bug. It was Herbie. Herbie Rides Again.
You think that was the first one?
You're telling me that was not the first one? The Herbie franchise?
Let's see.
Number 53, I believe, for Herbie. That had a racing stripe. That's what I think of every time
Yeah.
I see the Ann Wickower original.
All right, so we've got the Love Bug, Herbie Rides Again, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, Herbie Goes Bananas, Disney's The Love Bug. I think that may have been a remake.
The first one in 1968, The Love Bug.
Yeah. And I think Herbie Goes Bananas in 1980 was the last of the official sequels.
The first Herbie grossed $51 million plus domestically. Unbelievable. For a talking VW Bug. All right.
Was it talking?
Well, no, it didn't talk, but it had very human characteristics.
Yeah.
James Watson, the Love Bug was the first iteration. Number 2 was Herbie Rides Again. Number 3, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. 4, Herbie Goes Bananas. 5, the reiteration of the first one, The Love Bug, which came out 29 years later. And then the last one, Herbie Fully Loaded. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the Herbie franchise. And of those 6, they grossed, good Lord, is that correct? Almost $750 million domestically and $280 million plus worldwide. You're talking a franchise that grossed over $1 billion. Unbelievable, a VW bug. All right, let's get to the topics. And if you could put the first, lower third on screen. Facebook and Instagram down this morning.
Yeah.
For nearly 2 hours. The 2 most popular apps in the world, I would still say, I mean, TikTok's up there, but Facebook and Instagram, you could say, 2 of the most popular apps in the world. Drug addictions for all of us that use Facebook and Instagram. We utilize Facebook and Instagram to pay bills. I'm going to ask you this question. What impacts the Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia area more quickly, more negatively, more impactfully? What causes more panic? What causes more concern, anger, the array of emotions than Facebook and Instagram being down in Charlottesville and Central Virginia? What could possibly challenge that with causing the panic and the rainbow or the gambit of emotions for us Central Virginians?
I don't think there's very much. And to make it worse, I mean, if you go and look at places like, I'm sure Twitter and
Twitter was alive.
Yeah.
And did not go down.
You will find massive numbers of people going online to try to figure this thing out. And I think a lot of them probably had the same initial thought that you did, that my account's been hacked, I'm going to lose my stuff. A lot of people were trying to reset passwords, and then found out that there was a problem with Meta, and then they started to worry about, oh no, did I lock myself out? Because if you change your password and somehow it lost your old password, but the new password didn't go through because of problems that Meta was having, I mean, that could have been a serious issue.
Let's get James Watson's photo on screen. He has the first comment, one of the key members of the family, James Watson. Whenever he leaves a comment, we read it on air. He is number 5 in the power polls. Stephanie Wells Rhodes has something that can challenge Meta and Instagram being down. In fact, Stephanie Wells Rhodes' comment, I think, is even more panic-inducing than Facebook and Meta being down. Stephanie is in our family number 18. She says when the cell towers go down.
Yeah.
That is a great answer.
No doubt.
Because when the cell towers go down, you have absolutely no use of the phone whatsoever.
Yeah.
And while Facebook and Instagram are an addiction, the vehicle or the gateway to the high that is social media is the phone. And if the phone can't even get on the cell tower or the cell network, not only do you not have access to Facebook and Instagram, but you can't even get online. And when you're not even getting online, you feel like, this is incredibly concerning. When I don't have my phone, or I can't find my phone, or I'm not sure where my phone is, or if it's not even within hand grasp or eyesight, I have a panic attack.
The cold sweats.
I get cold sweats. I get the shakes. I get the cold sweats. My blood is boiling. I get anxiety. Viewers and listeners, do you feel that way? If your phone is not in eyesight or within hand grasp, or you're not sure where it's located, do you get the cold sweats? Do you get the panics? Do you get the shakes? Do you freak out? I do. Because not only is this a gateway to connection and to reaching my loved ones, but it's a gateway to safety, to knowing everyone's okay. It's a gateway to accessibility. It's a gateway to information. It's a gateway to living life. I say this to many people. Often the folks that I make this comment to are of the older generation. This iPhone is another employee for our operation. I would say maybe the output of 2 employees for our operation. Ginny Hu watching the program. Let's get her photo on screen. Ginny Hu's watching on Twitter. She's number 4 in the power poll. She says this: I completely missed they were down. I guess that's a good thing. Is that also, Ginny Hu, because you spend most of your time on Twitter? Twitter was not down. Out of curiosity, genuine curiosity. She did not know that they were down. Albert Graves is watching the program. He retweets the show. Albert Graves, number 7 in the family. Get his photo on screen. The only other items that I mentioned that could cause panic inducement, like Facebook and Instagram being down, or as Stephanie put, even worse, the cell towers being down, and I hate to even bring this up, but we saw a similar panic, was when there was an active shooter on grounds at the University of Virginia.
Yeah.
And they're not comparable. The active shooter on grounds, orders of magnitude way worse and significant than the cell towers being down or the social apps being down. But when there was an active shooter with the bus situation and the football players that have since lost their lives, that caused a level of panic in this community.
Definitely, but I don't think that lessens the impact of being locked out of social media, or especially as Stephanie Rhodes said, of not having any phone service at all. And I think it brings home the fact that even with something like this, we were lucky to still have phone access,
cell access, yeah, internet access,
and
4G, 5G, LTE access.
I think it really drives home how addicted may apply in some cases, but I think.
Oh, I'm absolutely addicted.
Yeah, but I think even larger than that is how much we've become accustomed to being connected
instantaneously,
being able to get information instantaneously, being able to connect with people, and when the cell towers go down, when your phone basically just becomes a brick with some fancy apps on it, some of which may still work without the internet, but I think it's terrifying. It's terrifying to be disconnected from the people that you know and love and not be able to get information. And speaking of,
that's the first thing.
Speaking of when something terrible happens on campus or around a school, we rely on that connection. And it's terrifying to not be able to get information about, especially about people you love, in the case of an active shooter on campus, or God forbid, in an elementary school.
Stephanie Wells Rhodes makes this comment. She's making the program better. She says, "We are so dependent on them, I don't even know phone numbers. The only phone number I know is my wife's phone number and the phone number of the house where I grew up in. I know no other phone numbers besides my wife's phone number and my childhood phone number in the home I grew up in." She's 100% right. Olivia Branch watching the program. Let's get her photo on screen. Olivia Branch is... what is her ranking in the family? iloveseville.com/viewer rankings. Olivia Branch is number 13 in the polls, looking stylish in this hat, Olivia Branch. She says, "I've learned to breathe first when feeling I don't know where my phone is. The calm helps me locate and remember my passwords." Thank you for that comment there, Olivia Branch. For me, it's the loss of connection to my loved ones. Like, if I text or call my wife and she doesn't pick up or respond right away, I immediately wonder if everything's all right. Philip Dow watching the program. He said, "I did not know it was down. 14 in the family." Let's put Philip Dow's photo on screen. Ginny Who says, "I was working out and doing laundry. Trust me, I spend more than enough time on Facebook and Instagram." She did not know it was down. Well, that's props to you. That means you are managing this addiction we call social media better than most. Philip, I respect your comment over there. Vanessa Parkhill's watching the program. Let's get to Vanessa on LinkedIn. Get Vanessa's photo on screen if you could, please, sir. Vanessa is number 5 in the family. She says, oh, she left a like over there. John Blair is number 2 in the family. He says, "What causes more concern in Seville? A UVA alert of violent crime or a power outage?" Yep. The UVA alert of violent crime, I think, causes the most panic.
Yeah.
A power outage or a cell tower outage, number 2, and the Facebook and Insta, the Meta apps being down in the number 3 slot. Vanessa Parkhill is watching. She says, "Time for a satellite phone." Old school satellite phone. Sherry Wilcombe watching the program. We can get Sherry Wilcomb's photo on screen if we could, sir. please. Judah Wickower. Sherry Wilcombe is number 39 in the family. Thank you for watching the show, Sherry. Items I want to get out of the notebook before we get off Meta apps being down is the irony or the conspiracy theorists, the conspiracy theory prognosticators or projectors saying this happened on Super Tuesday intentionally or strategically? Or we just chalk this up to coincidence? There's some strange, sad, conspiratory irony that it happened on Super Tuesday. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah, I think there are actually here's Sherry. There are actually a couple of. That's not the only one. It's also, I believe today is the day that Google is pushing out their new authorization, their new login pages, and I've already seen some whispering that perhaps Facebook was using a portion of their code, or somehow using like an API to connect with. I'm sure people have seen when you go to the Facebook login page, it'll often, I think it gives you an option to log in with your account or with, like, say, Google. And so there's some question that that somewhere the code, because of the changes made by Google, didn't mesh up the way it should, and that may be at least a contributing factor to what happened.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is not hyperbole. Having more than one company and being reliant on more than one company when it comes to social media is paramount for democracy in this country.
Yeah.
Facebook has the Meta apps. Meta has the apps Facebook, Instagram, Messenger,
Fountain,
WhatsApp, right?
WhatsApp. I'm not sure if that's
Is WhatsApp Meta?
Meta.
Are you sure?
I'm not.
I could have sworn. Yes, Meta has acquired WhatsApp in 2014 and $19 billion deal.
Yep.
So Facebook, the Meta apps are Facebook, Instagram, Messenger,
Yeah.
WhatsApp, Threads.
Threads. Yeah. No, yeah, the Threads is the one I was thinking of.
Threads
not
is
Fountain.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't own Fountain?
I don't think so.
Okay, Threads. You're talking about one company, when it goes down, it throttles the information superhighway at significant levels. Having Twitter, I hate to say this, TikTok,
But
LinkedIn.
Would TikTok end up being a place where people?
I don't think so. Information?
No, because I mean, you'd have to create a video, and it seems like it would be a hard
Totally agree.
sell as a.
I noticed the traffic with Facebook and Instagram with the content we create. When Facebook and Instagram were down, I noticed the traffic jumping over to LinkedIn and Twitter.
Yeah.
LinkedIn and Twitter. Say what you want about Elon Musk, his app stayed up. And LinkedIn still obviously provides a valuable service. And we get our information through these apps. These apps are publishers. They're not social media platforms anymore, guys. They're publishers in how we access the news. Mm-hmm. How many people go to news sites anymore for content? You go to social media for content and to get news. That's why creating the news within social media is the future of news. The future of news is not news created in standalone websites or standalone apps. The future of news, in fact, the present of news, is news created within social media applications, like we've been doing for some time. Mm-hmm. You learn a lot about society in Charlottesville and Albemarle and Central Virginia when these apps go down and how people respond. All right, let's get the next topic on screen. Mayor Wade speaking to downtown stakeholders. I'll set the stage here, and then I'm going to ask you, Judah, and I'll ask you, the viewers and listeners, what should downtown leaders tell the mayor of Charlottesville? Tomorrow, the Friends of Seaville nonprofit, it's a group of stakeholders in downtown Charlottesville that are looking to revitalize the 8 blocks we call downtown Charlottesville. They're meeting at 2:30 p.m. at the Bradbury Cafe, the old Bank of America, on the downtown mall. Interestingly, we're going to talk donuts later in the program. The Bradbury Cafe has a Spud Nut on its menu. That's almost identical to what Spud Nut, the donut, used to be when it was in the old Quality Pie location right next to Belmont.
Nice.
Mayor Wade will speak with downtown stakeholders tomorrow at 2:30. I'm a huge fan of Mayor Juan Diego Wade. I know you are as well. What should downtown stakeholders say to Mayor Wade in the meeting tomorrow at 2:30 p.m.? He's a fantastic listener, Mayor Wade. First, why don't we predict what we think is going to be said? Here's my prediction of what we think is going to be said. Prediction number 1, we've got to do something about returning engagement and foot traffic to the mall like it was pre-COVID. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
We've got to do something about the image of downtown. Whether people want to admit it to themselves or not, there is an image problem. And if you're not admitting that to yourself, you're not being realistic. Whether that image problem is around aggressive panhandling, homelessness, unsafe, whether it's around the homeless encampment that we've dubbed Sandersville, there's an image problem, and there still remains an image problem. That's a topic that'll come up tomorrow. Other topics that will come up on the show is how can the city of Charlottesville utilize taxpayer resources or its influence to create a positive vibe or aura or attention around these 8 blocks. I think this topic could come up. How do we create more events in person around downtown Charlottesville and market them? Does the mall need to be physically spiffed up? Whether it's some of the bricks. If you've noticed, you walk the mall, I walk the mall. Some of the bricks on the mall need some TLC. Whether it's paint, graffiti. These topics will come up tomorrow in the Friends of Seville meeting. Where do you want to go on this one?
I think definitely some cleanup of the downtown mall would be nice. And hopefully some of the, Sanders has been talking about what's going to happen with the Levy and Fifth Street property.
Avon
property. And if, I think if they could come up with a place for some of these people to stay, that would be great. I mean, right now there are people sleeping in business entryways. There's a building with Silverchair in the front window, and obviously they're not in there, but there's a guy pretty much permanently camped right there in front of the door.
And that's in the dead center of the mall.
Yeah. And
we cannot have and this is not me, this is me being empathetic, this is me offering a hand up, not a handout. I'm all for a hand up, I'm not for a handout. We cannot have houseless individuals sleeping in storefronts on the downtown mall. We cannot have houseless individuals calling the storefronts of the downtown mall their homes.
yeah.
It is not shelter. It is not a place for sleeping bags. It's not a place for trash bags, clothes that are holding trash bags. It's not a place for personal belongings. These are storefronts on the downtown mall. You cannot sleep there.
Yeah.
And it's not the police to clean that. It's not for the police to clean that up.
Well,
The police can't clean that up.
I know, but if anybody could.
If the police, we talked yesterday about the police being unwilling or unable is a better word because of straddled resources or throttled resources of enforcing petty larceny below $1,000. Someone can go into a storefront in Charlottesville and steal $989, and the likelihood for the police to come for $989 in real time is slim to none.
Yeah.
As long as it's under $1,000, criminals could go into a storefront and walk with $999.99. If they're not going to do that, they're not going to clean up storefronts on the mall.
But what's the answer then? There's nobody else with authority.
I think it's City Hall.
But wouldn't they still have to authorize the police to do something? Somebody has to uphold whatever City Hall says.
I'd love to hear Neil Williamson watching the program. He asked a very good question. Let's get Neil Williamson's photo on screen. President of the Free Enterprise Forum. Neil Williamson, number 19 in the family. Love Neil Williamson. Support the Free Enterprise Forum. He says, who owns the downtown mall? Shouldn't that entity be responsible?
That's a good point.
The downtown mall, by definition, is a public park.
Yeah.
It's a public park by definition. So by definition, is that not Charlottesville Park and Rec? Charlottesville Park and Rec cleans the mall. They do the trash, they clean the mall, they do some of the tree services, they maintain the mall.
So you're saying they should hire a park ranger?
I think, oh, wow.
I mean, it's a park, right?
Judah Wickower blowing my mind. That just took me aback right there. I think you said that almost flippantly, but is that an answer? A park ranger on the downtown mall?
Or multiple park rangers?
Mind blown right there.
Or just an outreach to those people and you
have someone working the hut at Walnut Creek,
a guide
as a gatekeeper at Walnut Creek,
a guide to amenities that they can use. Like,
should there be a park ranger on the downtown mall, since the downtown mall is a public park? And is that park ranger, or should that park ranger be empowered with cleaning up the mall, including who's sleeping in the storefronts? That's a damn good comment from you, Judah Wickower.
Thank you.
And does the park ranger deserve a little kiosk or hut in the dead center of the mall? There used to be a kiosk or a hut in the dead center of the mall that Chaz Webster tried to turn into a bar, an old newspaper stand.
A bar?
Oh, yeah. He ran it as a place to get drinks. When he was running and owning the box.
Is that the place with the metal roof? Small, like
it's
maybe
somewhere in
5
someone's
feet
backyard in Charlottesville.
Nice.
Chaz owned the box. It was Atomic Burrito, then it went to the box, became the box, and now it's Jack Brown's. And when Chaz was running the box, he converted this old newspaper stand that was in the dead center of the downtown mall across from Central Place in Zocalo into a spot that you could buy drinks. It's a genius move by Chaz. A park ranger on the mall. My mind just got blown right there. Unbelievable. Neil Williamson, good comments from you. He suggests a link, perhaps a model for the mall. United States Park Police, the National Park Service. The United States Park Police was created by President George Washington in 1791. The force functions as a unit of the National Park Service with jurisdiction in all federal parks. U.S. Park Police officers are located in Washington, D.C., New York City, and San Francisco metropolitan areas, and investigate and detain persons suspected of committing offenses against the U.S. Officers also carry out services for many notable events conducted in the national parks. There you go. Fits Judah Park Ranger model right there. That was a brilliant idea by you, Judah Wickower.
Thank you.
Carly Wagner watching the program. Let's get her photo on screen. Carly is number 3 in the polls. She says, I have a small crazy pet peeve of mine. Brick is a countable noun. Brick is a building material. Brick units are individual pieces. I know everyone says bricks, but it just curls my toes when referring to the downtown mall. You could say brick pavers, but bricks? Like nails on a chalkboard. Interesting.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say, I've got too many brick for this job.
Would you say too many brick pavers?
Possibly.
Carly, I like it. I mentioned this live on air. The park ranger on the downtown mall should come up in the Juan Diego Wade meeting tomorrow. I'd be curious if it does. Anything you want to add before we go to the next topic?
No, I can't think of anything else. Wade's a good guy, though, and
Wade is a
you're
good
right,
guy.
He will listen.
He is a good guy. I think Mayor Snook on Real Talk 2 Fridays ago, we had former Mayor Snook on Real Talk with Keith Smith,
Yeah.
and he straight up said on the show, the mall's not what it was before COVID. Exact words.
Yeah.
Exact words from the former mayor. Next topic. This is one of the, call it the human interest or food column of the newspaper. Dunkin' Donuts opens on Pantops across the shopping center from the donut kitchen. Dunkin' Donuts has a better location. It's a Dunkin' Donuts Baskin-Robbins combination.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one I'm talking about? Kind of
Yeah.
across from where the Lazy Parrot is?
In fact, I even noticed the clever way they did the Baskin Robbins
Oh, tell me.
logo.
Do tell. Do tell, Judah.
It's two colored, and in the middle of it, the B without the spine makes a 3, and then there's a 1 on the other side. So it's basically Baskin Robbins highlighting their classic 31 flavors.
Dunkin's got good coffee. I don't give their donuts the time of day. Their coffee's bona fide.
I mean,
Everyone's going to love a Baskin-Robbins scoop from time to time. I'll give them that. But for the money, and it's not even close, and the first taste I've got of the donut connection was from Mr. Jim Hingley. I'd love to honor that man. Let's get his photo on screen if you could. He's number 40 in the power poll. He dropped off a dozen donuts at the studio here some time ago. I feel for the locally owned donut connection. They're right next to the ABC store.
yeah.
They don't have the vertical integration, the economies of scale, the brand recognition of a Dunkin' Baskin combo.
Right.
They don't have a drive-through that Dunkin' Baskin has. They don't have the price points that Dunkin' Baskin has. And they don't have a close to an exit location like Dunkin' Baskin has.
Yeah, they definitely have the worst, a worse spot.
But the product is far superior at the donut connection. It's a craft donut versus a mass-produced donut.
Also, I feel like the light in the donut kitchen is not very good.
The light?
Every time I drive by there, I think it's closed.
I've noticed that as well.
I mean,
That goes to branding,
yeah.
would you say?
Yeah, and I almost think that the Dunkin' spot was just happenstance. I don't know.
What do you mean happenstance? That was strategically picked by them.
But that spot's been open and ready to be moved into for
For some time.
some time.
It's a fantastic location.
Yeah, and it's also perfect for a drive-through, big box brand. Not because I think that that a local brand couldn't go in there
Or afford it.
But how often? Yeah, afford it. I think that's a big part of it, and I think the other part is how often do you see local brands in buildings like that?
How often do you see local brands with drive-thrus?
Yeah.
That's a great question right there. Who can name local brands that have drive-thrus? Locally owned brand that has a drive-thru. That's what made the drive-thru at Bodo's during the pandemic so awesome.
Yeah.
How many people wish the Bodo's returned its drive-thru? That's not going to happen. But seriously, name a locally owned one unit that has a drive-thru.
Anywhere,
And-
not just in Central Virginia.
Well, no, let's just stick to Almar and Charlottesville.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying my point is I can't think of any businesses.
Can anyone help us
Anywhere
come
I've
up with
been.
that answer? What is a locally owned brand that has a drive-through?
Yeah. I can't think of one. I don't know that I've ever seen one.
I'm trying to think right now.
You'd have to have a lot of money. I think that type of
If you come up with a locally owned brand that has a drive-through in the comment section of this show before we are off air, I will mail you a free I Love Seville sticker on us and give you, and your name will forever ring loudly and true in the I Love Seville, the hallowed grounds of the I Love Seville Hall of Fame.
the annals of
That
I
word
Love Seville history.
creeps me out.
To
Neil
end,
Williamson
folks.
says they just closed, but Murphy's Bagels in Ruckersville had a drive-through. They are closed. Olivia Branch says the Baskin Robbins coffee rocks. The Baskin Dunkin' coffee rocks. It does rock.
I can't remember having Dunkin' Donuts since I lived in the north.
Dunkin' coffee is amazing. Rob Neal says the old Wells Fargo, the coffee shop at the corner of Little High and 10th. That's one. That is one. He just came up with one. Where Hunter Smith tried to do the...
Did that ever even
what did
open,
he
though?
call it?
It was Brew Through.
Oh, yeah. Brews on High. Now
Brews
it's
on High.
now it's Future Coffee. Rob Neal, Facebook message Rob Neal. Let's get his photo on screen. Rob Neal is number 29 in the power poll. Get his photo on screen. He says the Future Coffee, and Olivia Branch says it as well. The Martha Jefferson on High, she said it at the same time. Olivia Branch and Rob Neal both get credit for that one. Facebook message Olivia Branch and Rob Neal after the program. Mail them. In fact, I have stamped envelopes. Can you go to the studio camera? And captivate the viewers and listeners with your fantastic conversational ability.
So I'm curious.
Here are two stamped envelopes. One for Rob Neal and one for Olivia Branch for I Love Seville stickers. Two stamped envelopes here. Anybody else have any? Anyone else have any drive-throughs? Locally owned drive-throughs in this community? Your names will forever ring loudly in the what, Judah?
The annals of I Love Seville history.
John Blair says this: let's not forget that the old Charlottesville and Albemarle zoning codes, don't know about the current ones, used to require a special use permit for drive-throughs. If I'm not mistaken, didn't one of the old Brown's dry cleaners have a drive-through? Did they have one? Was that the one on Preston, John?
That's a good question.
That's a great question, John Blair. Always got us thinking. Did we get John's photo on screen, number 2 in the power polls? Rob Neal wants his sticker signed by Liza the dog. Maybe you get a Facebook message photo with Liza and the sticker. Carly Wagner says, I can't think of any. UVA Credit Union, but I assume you aren't counting banks. Maybe it has to do with zoning. Many chains buy the land and invest more money in zoning approvals, but local businesses tend to rent existing buildings. Great comment by C. Wagner, the engineer. C. Wags, that's a great comment.
But speaking of renting existing buildings, I'm going to assume, well, did the Donut Kitchen open up before the Burger King closed down?
Oh, yeah. I take that back. I don't think so. And Neil Williamson says this to John Blair. By the way, the special use permit requirement in Albemarle was repealed several years ago. So Neil Williamson on Facebook, I Love Seville group, is responding to John Blair on LinkedIn, and he says the special use permit requirement in Albemarle was repealed several years ago. I take it back. I think the Burger King closed before the Donut Connection opened. But the Donut, not Donut Connection, Donut Kitchen. The Donut Kitchen had no way of knowing that the Dunkin' was going there.
Right. And they also probably looked at the space and said, we can't afford that.
Oh, 100%.
That type of space.
I would bet you that type of space is 2 to 3x the rent of what the Donut Kitchen has next to the ABC store in the Pantop Shopping Center.
Yeah. There's a reason that those spaces go to big brands.
Right, because they can afford it.
Yeah.
That's why everyone was so shocked when Brazos opened in the old Bricks Pizza location. The Bricks Pizza in Barracks Road Shopping Center, that's an island pad restaurant. So everyone was shocked when Brazos said that they were going to open their second iteration in an island pad in Barracks Road Shopping Center. Everyone, including yours truly, said that's a hell of a lot of tacos you got to sell. That's why we question the longevity of Ralph Sampson's Tap House in Barracks Road Shopping Center, an island pad restaurant with that kind of overhead.
Yeah.
We're all over this topic right here. My point is this: support the Donut Kitchen. It's a fantastic craft donut. Make sure Rob and Olivia get their stickers. Please, sir. Please, sir. Sounds like you have to send a photo to Rob via Facebook Messenger with the sticker next to Liza the dog.
Get some ink and...
No. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have
paw.
to fingerprint it or sign it. Just give him a photo of the sticker next to Liza's adorable face.
So you want me to print out a sticker?
No, give him an I Love Seville sticker. Before you put it in the envelope, just put the sticker next to Liza's face. Take a photo. You can even include yourself in the selfie and then Facebook message. In fact, put it on I Love Seville so everyone can see you, Liza, and the sticker. And then make sure that Rob gets it in Facebook Messenger. In fact, if you want to put it on the I Love Seville Instagram, I think people will appreciate the beloved Judah B. Wickower next to the I Love Seville mascot, the Caring for Creatures Rescue, Liza the dog from Fluvanna County's Rescue Caring for Creatures, and the I Love Seville sticker. That would be a great Instagram post.
All right.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
People like you and they love your dog.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If I was you and I was single and ready to mingle, I would be taking that dog to so many places with girls around. It's almost like letting your little baby, your 1-year-old or 2-year-old or 3-year-old, like in or Big Daddy. Remember in Big Daddy where Adam Sandler used to take that cute little Bond kid places and he'd run up and he'd go talk to beautiful women? And then next thing you know, Adam Sandler would show up, Big Daddy, behind the blonde kid and say, "Why'd you go running away from me?" And the ice was already broken.
You're going to Pikachu face, but I never saw that movie.
What? You've never seen Big Daddy?
I've never seen
Is that on the things that Judah's never done list?
No.
No?
No.
That's not up there with
we're
no
not-
photos with Santa Claus ever in your entire life?
We're not listing every movie I've never seen.
Big Daddy's you would love Big Daddy. Will you do me the favor of seeing Big Daddy this week?
Do I have to?
What, you don't like to laugh?
I like about
You don't like to
half
laugh.
of
That's what
Adam Sandler's
doesn't like
movies.
to laugh. What? Why don't you like Adam Sandler?
I like some of his movies, but they're just so absurd. I just don't get into a lot of them. And
You don't like to laugh?
I do like to laugh. I just have a different sense of humor than some people.
Okay, fair enough. Big Daddy I thought was hilarious. I'm laughing right now thinking of Big Daddy. All right, a couple items out of the notebook. The Tuesday edition of the I Love Seville show. Simon Davidson does a fantastic job with the Charlottesville 29. I sincerely mean that, Simon Davidson. He's highlighted a new Cuban-Mexican restaurant called Cuba Mex. Judah, this is right down the road from us.
Wow.
It's located at 1301 East Market Street. 1301 East Market Street we're at 406. So that's
Yeah, that would be down.
that way, right?
Is that on the? That's got to be on the corner with.
Mead and Market?
Yeah. Mead-
1301 East Market Street. It's open Saturdays and Sundays from 11 a.m. until they sell out.
That's got to be a food truck, on in the same parking lot with.
Not the Cosner Brothers food truck where Tacos Gomez is.
Yeah. I can't think of
But
anywhere
that's
else.
not Market Street. That's High Street. He says it's 1301 East Market Street.
East Market, huh?
I initially thought it was in the Cosner Brothers food truck lot, but it's not.
Let's see. Yeah, you're right. East Market Street. That's got to be down.
It's got to be down by
Firefly?
Mead and Market. Anyway, it's Cuban and Mexican cuisine. They have Cuban-style empanadas, Cuban-style pan con bistec, steak sandwiches, quesadillas, enchiladas, picadillo, chicken strips, tacos, burritos, fried plantains, Mexican refried beans, Cuban-style meatless black beans, Cuban-style white rice. I mean, this looks bona fide. Pineapple upside-down cake, choco flan slice.
I think that's the. I think 1301 might be the
Cubamex,
the memorial place
owned by Yasmin Gonzalez, by the where they sell the gravestones.
I think that is where they sell the gravestones.
That's Meat and Market, isn't it? On the Google Maps. You're doing the Google, right? Are you doing the Google?
Yeah. 13.
So across from Fireflies, what you're saying?
I think so.
Well, I need to try this Saturday and Sunday until they sell out.
Yeah. I'll check it out too.
And you're going to check out Big Daddy and this place. Curtis Shaver says across from Fire. Oh, thank you, Curtis Shaver. C. Shaver.
Yeah.
I got to wear a Curtis Shaver tank top. I promised my boy I would wear the tank top. I got it in my bag. I'm going to wear a tank top that has Curtis Shaver's face in cartoon form on it. I might do it tomorrow when the great Giardini comes back. Not only the great Giardini, but the great Bubini.
We got to come up with you got to come up with a better name than that.
Why don't you like the great Bubini?
Bubini?
Who doesn't like Bubini? I love Bubinis. Don't you love Bubinis? Do you like Bubinis?
What are they?
Bubinis. Who doesn't like Bubinis?
Is this a cultural thing?
Nora Gaffney says, across from Firefly, and she got a gravestone there. Oh, we got to get Curtis Shaver's photo on screen. Is Curtis in the power polls? Yes, he is. Number 31 in the power poll. Get Curtis's photo on screen. Get Nora Gaffney's photo on screen. She's number 36 in the family.
There's Curtis.
That's a great photo of Curtis. Neil Williamson's got a joke. Judah, people are dying to go there.
Nora Gaffney.
Don't you think that's funny? Don't you like to laugh? People are dying to go there. It's next to the gravestone place.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Neil.
The Tuesday edition of the I Love Seville show. We're going to go
Is
out
that-
like Costanza on a high note. Thank you
So-
kindly for watching us.
Could 1301? Does anybody remember what that old the Flying Pig? What was that?
Flying pig?
You remember the barbecue spot right
Oh,
next?
yeah. Jinx.
Was it Jinx?
Yeah, it wasn't Jinx. That was Jinx. Jinx is more up toward us. Not that far. Jinx.
Well, then you're not
Pit
thinking
stop.
of the same one. The pit stop.
Yeah, Jinxes.
You're sure that wasn't 1301? I
positive.
swear that was right
We'll
there.
ask the
across
great
from,
Bubini and the great Giardini tomorrow while wearing a Curtis Shaver tank top, perhaps.
Oh, man.
It's the Tuesday edition of the I Love Seville show. Thank you kindly for joining us. So long, everybody. Positive. Positive.